Okay, so today we are going to discuss at length conditional statements in C. We are going to discuss what are conditional statements and how we can utilize conditional statements to write applications in C. Conditional statements in C is an expression that evaluates to either true or false. When I have a particular statement, I can evaluate that statement to give me either true or false. That is the statements we use in conditional statements. Those statements that evaluate, and then after it does its evaluation, the answer that is provided is either going to be true or false. Now, in life, we cannot compare more than two things at a time. For example, over here, I am comparing the following. 2 plus 3 is not what we are looking for. That is an arithmetic operation. So it will give us an answer 3, 4, 5, -1, +2, 0, decimals. These are all arithmetic expressions. When we say conditional expressions, then they are giving us true or what? False. For example, is 2 bigger than 3? What would you say?
It's false.
False.
Okay, is 200 less than 300? What would you say?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Bet. True or false? Rebecca, yes, sir.
It's true, sir.
It's true.
True, sir.
It's true. Okay. So that statement there gives us that. Now, whenever you have an if statement, this part is where the condition will be. So it is at this part we will have the 2 bigger than 3, or we will have the 200 less than what? 300. So it is at this part that we put our condition now statement. Okay. Now, the conditional statement here, it will do its evaluation. And whatever answer it will get is either going to be true or what? False. So the idea is that we are manipulating statements so that at the end of the day, they are either going to be true or false. Very important. Now, the whole concept of programming and I want to code and I want to build applications are these. The manipulations we do here is what makes the program the program, is what makes the code, what gives the program its sense of awe, of goodness. So let's look further in our slide. And in looking further in our slide, we have these. So is 18 greater than 5? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Over here, I have 2 times 3, right? 2 times 3 over here would give
Two
me
times 2.
2 times 2, sorry, would give me 4. 4 minus 3 would give me 1. Over here, 2 is 2 greater than, is 1 greater than 2?
False.
False. Perfect. At this side of the equation, I have 4. I have minus 4 minus 2. That will give me 2. Is 2 bigger than, is 2 bigger than, is 2 smaller than 5? Yes. It is true. Now, I have a true statement here. Sorry, I have a false statement here. I have a true statement here, and I have the logical operator and. The logical operator and is true when both sides are true. So since here is false, that means the answer I'll be getting here is going to be what? False.
False.
So that is how the computer will evaluate our expression, will evaluate what we are doing to give us an answer which is either true or what? False. Now, in your time, when you get your slide, you can look through all of these ones and then see, I have the answers there. So you do your calculations like how I just did with that one. to see if you either get true or false for every single question there. As I said, I've already done them, so you can do them yourself. But coding being what it is, in life, you never get the answers the way they are. No one ever comes to you and says, this is the equation, so write a code for me. You must fetch them. So here I have a question. If 2 doubled and reduced by 3 is greater than 2 and 4 minus 2 is less than 5, does the chest open? So here I have 2 doubled. That means 2 times what? 2. And reduced by 5. So minus 5 should be greater than what? 2. And at the same time, 4 minus 2 less than 5. So everything in this half of the statement here is what I have done over here. Is what I have broken down over there to get this. Now I'll solve it. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. Is 1 greater than 2? Yes. It is not, so it is false. Sorry. This would give me 2. And over here, it is bigger than that, so here is true. So my answer is going to be what? False. False. Now, in life, you would be given it over here. But in real life, you would have to sit down and talk to someone. Oh, so your system, how is it going? What do you do? How do you? And after you have gone and deduced all of those things, you then have to come and sit down and write an equation on that so that you can use that to evaluate your if statement. So it's not always going to be rosy. It's not always going to be in your face. You must deduce sometimes. You must find out what the answer is sometimes. And in doing so, you would get this equation and then you have to solve. So now, the conditional statement in C, we have the if condition. The if condition starts with the if keyword. Note where the word is, if. This is in small letters. You will never have the case where one will be capital and whatever. Don't ask me that question. This is always going to be in small letters. Then you have this bracket over here. Look at it. You have a start and you have a what? Closed. Then in here, whatever condition you want to evaluate, that would either give you true or false. You would evaluate that condition. When you are done, if this is true, then you enter into these curly brackets here. If it is false, then there is no need for you to enter the curly brackets over here. So our aim is to prevent things in which we don't like from entering into the curly brackets. Let's have an example. Int A is equal to 10. B is equal to 5. If A is greater than B, print this. Will I print on my screen A is bigger than 5? Yes or no?
Yes.
Someone said yes. Let's see if what he's saying is true. It says A is equal to 10. That means in this location, what do we have there? 10. B is equal to 5. That means in this location, what do we have there? 5. Is 10 bigger than 5? Yes. So this whole thing is going to be what? True. So if true, then I'll go in here. So yes, I will be able to print it out. That is how the computer is going to evaluate the expression. Let's take another one. We have num is equal to 6. That means this location here will change to what? 6.
Yes.
I have 6 modulus 2. 6 modulus 2 means that if I divide 2 by 6, I do not get a remainder. Now, if I divide 2 by 6, I get 3. Is there a remainder? No. So this expression here is going to be what? True. Hence,
True.
I'll be able to print the number as what? Even. Now, if the expression is like this, then here it has to change to what? Odd numbers. Because odd numbers do not have a remainder of zero. They have a remainder of something other than zero. So the way you would write this section here would determine if you would enter here or not, if your data would be here or not, if you put in some information here or not. That means if your condition here is not well written, it means over here you have no need of coming here, or it will give you a misfire in your code. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now I can say int is logged is equal to 1. Remember, in the code, 1 is equal to true, 0 is equal to false. So over here, technically, what I'm saying is if what? True. And of course, if the conditional statement is true, I will enter here. So this code is perfectly correct. I'm technically telling the individual that if the person is logged in, then I'll come here. But how will I know you are logged in? Is if a certain condition is what? True. So the moment I make this place 0, it means you are logged out. Hence, you will not have any user credentials for you to see anymore. Mr. Michael, what's your question?
You said the other example we gave before this one.
Mm-hmm.
Could you please go back to that example?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This particular one. So the exclamation mark after the two, does
Mm-hmm.
it always have to come there when the number is odd?
The
Is it
better
for like
question,
only when?
the better question is, what is exclamation mark equal to?
Okay.
So I remember that one of the slides before this, we talked at length about the various operators we have. So another example of the operators we have is the relational operator. And I remember specifically saying that in the relational operator, we have the equal to. That is, I want to say you and you are equal to. You are the same. Then I'll use that one, right? Then we have the greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and then it is not equal to. So if I want to say something is not equal to something, this is how I would write it in code.
Okay.
So technically, what I'm saying over here is whatever I have over here should not be equal to what? 0.
Yeah.
Is that clear, Mr. Michael?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Tete. Is that clear? Perfect. Let's go on then. So in here, I have some other expressions. Let's see. Num is equal to 15. So it means that this section here is what? 15. This section here is also what? 15. So is 15 bigger than 10? Yes or no?
Yes.
So here will be true. Is 15 less than 20? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes and no. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then here we have true and false. Are both
True and true.
sides true and true? So since it's an end, it is true when both sides are what? True. Hence,
True.
everything here will what? Display. Wonderful. Over here, they are saying score is equal to 40. Now, is score bigger than 50? So here I have my score is equal to 40 over here. And then over here I have my score is equal to 40 over here. So is score bigger than 50? No, it is not. So this whole section here is what? False.
False.
Is 40 equal to 45? No, it is
No.
not. So this whole section
No.
here is what? False. So false or false is going to be false. Hence, I will not enter here, but I would rather go to the else statement. And that brings us to another very fascinating discussion. Everything in which we have done so far, if the thing is not true, if what we are doing is not true, we don't do anything else. But the else statement is there so that if the true is not correct, then we'll go to the alternate, which is what? The else. So in some books, you see we have the if and the alternate if. Alternate if means that there is an if and an else. An if statement is there, and an alternate if is when you have something else you will do. If this doesn't work, then I will do this. For example, let me open up my IntelliJ. Hey, let me say IntelliJ, sorry, my VS Code. Forgive me, the things in which I am doing nowadays, there are plenty. So sometimes I get all my programming languages and my editors mixed up. Sometimes I'll be writing some code and I'll say, hey, what am I doing? So I am here. Are you standing by the roadside or something? Okay, let me keep quiet. So, of course, before you start writing every code, you know that this is the basic structure you need. You would need include stdio.h. You would need int main, and you would need the return 0 and the bracket closing over here. So before I will do anything, I will do this. And then my code will come inside here. Now, the code I'll write here, I am writing a program to determine if a number is positive. That's all I'm doing. I'm determining if a number is positive. So if a number is positive, then I'll tell you, oh, this number is what? Positive. So printf into bracket, enter a number. And then afterwards, I'll say scanf in double quote, percentage sign, D, comma, n% to mark my pointer. Then here I'll put in number. But here I have an error. And the error is telling me that I have not created the variable number and I'm using it. So you can see here, unidentified number, undefined. The moment you see an error and it is saying undefined, it means what you are doing is not there. It doesn't exist. So in here, I'll go to the top again and I'll say int number, and then I'll bring my semicolon. And the moment I do that, the error goes away. Note that the scanf, I have two brackets over here, and then in there, I am putting the type of format modifier I am using. In this case, I'm using an integer. So it is percentage %D. If it was a float, it would be percentage %F. And then here, I'll bring the end. The end here is for a pointer. I will treat that later. And then here I have the number in which I am using. Everything here has a reason to be there. You don't just write them. There is everything would be at the point it will be at a certain point in time. In here, I'll write the following code. If the number the person has just entered is greater than 0, because for you to know if a number is positive, it must be bigger than 0. So all numbers that are bigger than 0 are positive numbers. Hence, I'll bring my curly bracket here and tell you print f number is positive. Every statement ends with a semicolon. You don't just write the code. See how I write my code. It's very important. The reason why these visuals are there, they are recorded, is for you to see me do it. I don't write it like an essay. Even if everything is on the screen, I don't even type it like it's an essay. I write the if, I bring the braces, I type what I have to do, I bring my curly brackets, I open it, I type what I have to type. Look at how I have indented my code. Look at the spaces here so that I know that all of this is in this. And then when I come here, all of this is also in that. And my code is well aligned. Everything is well aligned, well placed, well tuned. Nothing is off base. So that when I have an error, it is clearly written for me to see where I have to go. I click on the button here. It runs my compiler. Everything is fine, so my compiler runs. In here, it asks me to enter a number. I choose to enter the number 23. I press, it tells me my number is positive. My code is working. I run it again. I've entered negative 24. I press enter. It does nothing. It doesn't give me any message if it is negative or nothing, or it does nothing. It does nothing because over here, if it evaluates and the answer it is getting here is false, you have told the computer to do nothing. So it is doing what you told it to do. So in here, if I bring an else statement over here, and then I bring my curly brackets here, and then in here, I go and then copy this off, and then I put in here that number is negative, and I run my code again, and in here I put minus 24. In here it tells me the number is what? Negative. You are in control. Now, what happens if the person comes in and puts in 0? It is telling me that 0 is a negative number, and it is not the case. 0 is not a negative number. Is 0 a negative number? No. Because over here, I told him that if the number is not positive, then it is negative. But that's not true. Mathematically, we have positive numbers, negative numbers, and 0. 0 is neutral, it's in between, it's neither positive or negative. So we cannot determine a particular data type of a number just by typing something in. Hence, I'll have to modify my code and say, if, else if the number the person is entering is less than 0, then the number is negative. Else, anything else, then tell the person that the number he has entered is what? 0. Within a very short span, I've expanded my program to not just take positive numbers, not just take negative numbers, but consider all sides. And we can use the if else if else statements to consider all sides we want when there are multiple evaluations we need to do. Are there any questions on this?
Yes, sir.
Let's have another question. I am going to write a program to determine your grade. You have grade A, grade B, grade C, grade D, grade F. Now, how do you know a person's grade? You know a person's grade based on the mark they got. What exam? What did you get? Oh, I got 40. If you got 40, then you got what? F. So in here, I'm going to write the program. I'm going to tell a user not to enter any number, but enter the person's mark. And I'll still save it in number. And over here, I'll bring some line here at the front. Now, if the mark the person has entered, and here, let me just change the name from number to mark. So if the mark the person has entered is greater than 70, sorry, is greater than and equal to, so it is bigger than and at the same time it is equal to 70, then that person has a grade of A. Else, if, very important you realize, it means if you are not here, then you come here. If you are not here, we don't find you here anywhere, then we'll bring you here. So if the mark of the person is greater than or equal to 60, sorry, then that person has a grade of B. Else, if that person has a mark which is greater than or equal to 50, then this person here has a grade of C. Else, if that person has a mark which is greater than or equal to 40, then that person has a mark of D. Now, if we are looking for you, we are looking for a particular place you are, we are finding out where are you, we can't find you. We look in the living room, you are not there. Maybe you have 3 rooms. You look in room 1, room 2, room 4, you are not there. Technically, where are you? You are in the kitchen. Because in the house, those are the only rooms that are there. And we know you are in one of those rooms. So technically, if you are not here and you are not here and you are not here and you are not here, then you are the student who got what? F. Now I can save this and I can run this. You realize that every time I run my code, my errors get smaller and smaller because my code is open. I do not make, where the bracket is supposed to be, the bracket is there. My spelling mistakes are smaller. The errors I make are smaller. I can explain every line to you. I know why I'm writing that line. Forget about everything that is going on. Just focus on that line. So here I type in 64. Sorry, I type in 64 down here, and then I press enter, and it tells me that my grade is what? B. Now, I am going to type CLS to clear the down part. I'm going to run it again, and then when I run it again, here I'm going to type 200. This is telling me I got what? A. This is an error. because someone can only get from 0 to 100. So how do I stop it? How do I make sure that whenever you enter anything that is not 100, the program will discard you? So over here, I can say the following, that if the mark the person is entering is bigger than or equal to 0, and at the same time, the mark is less than or equal to 100, then we should enter here. And when we enter here, we are going to do all of this here. Now, if this is not true, then we should come to an else statement and tell the person that the coding which he is writing is out of bounds, which is out of bounds. Other than that, you are inside the bounds, so we can find you. So if I click here again, and I type 200 here again, and I click enter, it tells me I'm out of bounds. But if I click here again, and I go and type in, let's say, 45, and I press enter, it tells me I got what? D. Now, my program is stopping constraints. And look at it very carefully. I have an if statement, and in the if statement, I have an if, else statement, and then outside over here, I have an else statement for an alternative. I am mixing my if statements so that every single thing that I have to control, I can control. So that if you're not going in the direction I want you to go, I can control and bring you into that direction. Control is very important. Any question? Any questions? Wonderful. Since there are no questions, let's have another question. Let's solve another question. So we have done this, we have done that. Let's do this. Oh, let's do this one. The Ghana Navy has been paying its newly employed staff on the tabletop, a practice that has attracted much criticism from the military command. On a trial basis, they have engaged your services to design a payment system with the following functionalities. So you have been prescribed by them that you should build a system for them. You should build something for them to control and use, and you know, you are the IT guru. Request for the name and rank of the individual. Okay. Now, use the table below to calculate the net salary and the gross salary of the person. And when you are done, display the result. When you're done, display the result. Wonderful. In here, I'll start my code afresh. Remember, my starting point is always going to look like this. Include std, main, return 0, the brackets are there, then I'll just write my code here. It is very important. If this structure is not there, it means everything in which I'm doing from the onset, I'm getting it wrong. From the onset, everything in which I'm doing is wrong. Now, there are multiple ways I can do this. The easiest way I can do this for me at this point in time, because there is no time or whatever, is what I'm about to do. For you, you can do it in a different way, and I can do it in a different way. But to prevent people from typing in the rank wrongly, I'm going to do the following. I'm going to say print F welcome to the Ghana Navy. Done. Over here, I'll bring a /n here. And then here I'll say print F. In here, I'll type again. Choose your rank. I'll bring a /n here so that it will go to a new line, the cursor. Then here I'll say print F. Select one. Sergeant. Select number 2. Or let me say, if I say select, it sounds a bit too wordy. So I'll say enter 1 for sergeant. And here too, let me use the word for sergeant. Enter 3 for so here is 1 for sergeant, 2 for major, and then 3 for captain. Then here, I'll put in another print F. What is your rank? Question mark, space. In here, I'll bring for all of this one, from this one, and this one, I'll bring a /n. Then over here, after you have entered your rank, I'll bring print a F again. I'll bring this, and then I'll do star to do a nice line over there. And then I'll bring a /n here so that I can now display my results. Note, everything I want to happen on the screen, I am envisioning it, I am plotting it, I am making sure everything is in the right space. Over here, just so that the person can see this is different, I'll just do a small gap here. Let me do 2 of them so that it will be on the screen like that. Now, if at the top here, I'm going to do int choice. And here I'm going to say scanf into brackets that %d, comma, in here I'm going to put in choice so that the person can enter his or her choice. When he does that, this thing here is supposed to come underneath the choice the person has entered. Very important. So now I have this. So in here, I'm going to say if the choice of the person is equal to 1, then that means the person is a sergeant. So for a sergeant, his net salary, so at the top here, I need float net salary is equal to 0. Then over here, I'm just going to say net salary is equal to the person's main salary, which is 2,500, minus the person's tax salary, which is 2,500 times 0.027. Perfect. Else, if the choice of the person is 2, then the salary of the person is 4,800, and here also has to change to 4,800, and then over here it changes to 5.8. By the way, 5.8% is this. That's why I wrote it like this in decimal. Next choice. Else if the person is number 3, the choice, then it means the person has chosen a captain. So over here, I can say that captain salary, which is 68,000, and over here, I can put in the amount in which he's taking, which is 8.83. So 83. Yes, 83. Good. Now, I must display the answer to the person. I must tell the person what he or she is getting.
So please, you've not changed the
Which one?
48,000.
Oh, yes, the 48,000. So over here, it is 68,000. It's good. Thank you very much. So now I must display what rank the person has and so on and so forth. So in here, just so that the person sees this at the beginning, I'll say print F sergeants chosen. Perfect. Over here again, and then I'll bring a /n here. Very good.
You're putting print G.
I've written what? I've written what? Hello?
Print G. Okay, you've changed it now. You've changed it.
Okay, thank you very much. So over here, I'll have major. And then over here, I'll have what? Captain. Then in here, after this, I will have the following. Salary. Also printf. Your net salary is percentage sign F. And then over here, I'll just bring a comma and bring what here? Net salary. Now I run this. Oh, let me close this, run it again. I don't want anything on the screen. So here I said, welcome to Ghana Navy. Choose your rank. Enter 1 for this, 2 for that, 3 for that. Oh, I want to be a major, so I'm number 2. I enter. And then it's supposed to tell me what's ever my things are, but nothing happened over here. So let's see what happened. Why didn't it tell us anything? Let's run it again just to be sure we don't have any errors coming from the front end. So I run it again. It tells me to enter my rank. I enter 2, I press, it pauses here, but nothing happens. So let's see what is going on in our code. Why is it not giving us any answer or anything? Let's come and see. So here I have scanf, and the scanf, nothing is happening because the scanf, I forgot to bring the what? The end symbol over here. So that is why nothing is happening, because it doesn't know, it collects the information, but it doesn't know where to go and put it. So the end in front here is very important. So I go again and I run it. Again, I'll press CLS to clear my screen. And again, you can see how fast I saw my error. Because the error is at where the information is being taken, I know that my error would be at the scanf. So immediately I went to where the scanf is, and then I looked at everything that is there. Scanf, there's supposed to be double quote, there's supposed to be an end before the variable. Is the end there? No. So I have to put it there. There is no panic. In here, I run my code again by pressing the play button. Oh, I made a mistake over here. So let's see. What have I done? Did I save the work I did? The scanner of everything in here. Everything here looks okay now. So let's run it again. What have I done now? Add declared token modifier somewhere. Where is it? Okay, they are saying there's a problem with the end. So did I write everything well here? Let's see. The choice is that. So over here I have comma, I have the end symbol, and here I have choice. So where have I made an error again? Let's see. Everything down here is okay. At the top here is okay. When I run it again, okay, it is fine. Maybe I didn't type it well or I left some big space or something. So I've corrected it now. So now in here, I have welcome to the Ghana Navy. I choose my choice as 2, and it tells me that I am a major. Let me clear the screen. Let me do it again. I'll run it. Let me choose 3. It tells me that captain chosen, your net salary is going to be this. Remember, the question is this. Breaking it down till you get to what you want. It's quite easy. No panic, no rush. If you have an error, go over your code again. Look at the indentation, making sure everything is in line, making sure everything is in the right order. Are there any questions?
So a question. So please go up a bit from where you started yeah. So when you check your line 12, the print F star 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 star. What does it amplify?
Look here. Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Now let's say I enter 3 here, okay? And
Yes,
I
sir.
press enter. You see this star, star, star that comes here?
Yeah.
It tells you that this side is done so that you can continue from this side. Can you see that? So in terms of the code, it does nothing there other than bringing a nice line under the top half for you to see that, okay, you have chosen, so this is where you are continuing from.
Okay.
Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions, please? So if there are no other questions, then today that was what we were going to do. When we meet next week, we are going to solve some very interesting questions that has to do with the if else statements and combine them together. I will send you people the recorded video for the class that in your own time you can watch it, redo it, and resolve them again. In your class group, I'll put in some questions and I'll put in the PowerPoint for today also in your class so that you can review it and then learn and go over. Please go over, do it, repeat it, and repeat it and repeat it again. Yes, Mr. Tete. Any question again?
Oh, okay. No, sir. No, sir.
Repeat it and repeat it again. Again, this same question, I could have solved it in a much easier way, in a different way. And over here too, I am not done. Here, I could have added the else statement so that here I'll just tell the person that net salary is equal to 0, very importantly. And then here, I'll just say invalid choice. Now, why will I say invalid choice here? So that the crazy people on this earth who will come and put 10 here, over here to tell him that his choice is what? Invalid. Then my code will not be giving people salary when they don't have any rank. Do you understand? So control, remember, you must think of everything. Everything is being controlled by you. So how the user would interact with the system is based on you. Again, thank you guys for coming. We would meet again next week and we would have some more interesting discussions on the code.
Okay.